Are you being caught up by perhaps some bad habits? Well, today I'm going to talk about this and how you can maybe move through them. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra special point for you then. Now, many times I knew what I needed to do and didn't do it. Or I knew what I didn't need to do and I did it and it wasn't good. Maybe I overdrank, maybe I overate, maybe I didn't make the calls I needed to do. Maybe I annoyed someone I didn't need to annoy. And what I've realized is the reason we do that is because we're programmed in a certain way. You've got the conscious part of your mind that's like the kind of the mindset part, like I've got a good attitude and I'm going to do this, this, and this. But then you've got the subconscious, which is like the programming, all the psychology, the ongoing thought processes, consciously and subconsciously, that are driving you ultimately. And if you don't pay attention to them and if you don't start addressing some of them, then you can have all the will in the world, but you're naturally going to resort back to some of those bad habits that are going to go in the ways of some of that bad thinking that may be at the back of your mind. Now, I've been guilty of that many times. It's like I was in good shape and I started eating bad, or maybe I was having a good time or doing really well at university. Oh, the classic one at university, doing really well, getting on with people, doing well in my grades, go out. And I know it's slightly university life, but drink an excessive amount, maybe fall out of one or two people, can't really focus, my work starts slipping. And that's because I was going back to my old programming of thinking I wasn't good enough to do the things and actually getting into some of that bad behavior. So ask yourself, is it doing you any favors by just trying to go around that same cycle, just consciously? And it's great to have that good mindset, but just mindset alone is not going to last. Not going to last to overcome the bad habits. If you're not aware of them, you're not aware of the way you're programmed and you're thinking. So we're going to go into some very simple points. Again, I'm all about simplicity, as are my mentors. So the first thing is the classic. What do you want? You got to understand what you want in order to move forward, because like, how do we know what's a good habit and a bad habit? For me, a good habit is something that supports the way you want to go, and you don't know what's a good habit if you don't know where you want to go. A bad habit is something that doesn't support the way you want to go, right? So like, for example, if you want to be in this, I'm going to sound a bit silly with this example. I don't have Netflix at the moment, and I've got nothing against Netflix, by the way. It's great to, just maybe watch and relax sometimes, great. But like, if you want to be sensational at pub quizzes, good on entertainment, knowing everything about Netflix, and you set yourself up a habit to watch Netflix every evening, that's a good way to move. If you want to go and get in shape, keep fit, keep active, and your routine is to watch Netflix every night and eat a load of rubbish, that is not a good habit for you. This sounds as silly as it sounds. This sounds crazy, right? The problem is most of us have silly behaviors like this, including me, by the way, right? And we don't even recognize it. It's like, oh, I really have a good intention to lose some weight, be healthy and energetic. Yet we don't even notice that we keep going to like Costa or Starbucks every day and buying like loads of sugary coffee. Now, I used to have a lot of sugary coffee and I sort of switched to black Americanos. Again, coffee is not the healthiest thing in the world, but, I can't be a complete saint or anything like that. So I do allow myself a bit of black coffee and the treat from now and then. But identifying what you want and being able to consistently do things in line with that is going to help you. So again, it all starts with what you want. And the second thing, what's one thing you can do every single week towards it? So what's like one thing you can do, or at least several times a week? Well, at least every week, but several times a week. So if it's like getting in shape, it's going to the gym a few times a week. If it's making money, it's maybe reading up on money mindset books, maybe studying wealthy people, maybe studying sales, something like that. Like if you and actually taking action on it. My third tip is program yourself in the right way. And how do you do that? The best two ways I've discovered is the people and the information you take in. You're constantly taking in information from people around you. So make sure you're listening to, you ideally hang out with people who are really good and positive and in line with where you want to go. Also, making sure you listen to good quality information, because the more we take in, the more naturally we're going to start believing the stuff we're taking in, and the more likely we're going to have good behaviors and bad behaviors in the way of that. Now, obviously, it does come back to the first 2 points. You've got to consciously pay attention to the small thing. Don't bombard yourself with too many things and know where you want to go. But the more you can bombard yourself with good quality information, the more your brain is going to start absorbing and behaving in that way, because your brain learns through repetition. But if you've got a lot of negatives around you, your brain's going to learn that, and it's going to start resorting to things like self-sabotage and things that you don't want to be doing. So it's all about consciously doing small things, paying attention, and then also listening to good quality information and hanging out with good quality people around you. Now, if you want to go a little bit further, here's my extra point for you. I would look up the work of Joe Dispenza or Marissa Peer. They have some really good kind of deep hypnosis and deeper psychology, whereby they've got programs and audios whereby they focus on specific like audio programs and things like that, whereby you can listen to tapes and get better programming in your mind towards what you want to do. I've used a couple of Marissa Peers, and they're super, super effective. Okay, so that's my bonus tip for you. So I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives for being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.